Are you ready?
I think, what do we think it is? Far out diesel.
Far out diesel.
And look, there's still time on the timer. Diesel Gladiator, Diesel Wrangler. Far out edition, coming at 70 grand or something. I think it's gonna be a diesel. And nothing. Today on Jeep News, let's talk about the 85th anniversary that was just dropped for the Wrangler and Gladiator, how we really feel about it, as well as a part that is now confirmed to be backwards compatible. Let's break it down in today's Jeep News. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into the drop number 3, that duck that was just revealed on Jeep.com, let's first talk about one of our good friends, Randy, out in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, and he sent us a full-length installation video. So Randy works for Jim Marsh Jeep out in Las Vegas, and he was actually on the order list. He ordered these back in October. He ordered the quick release door hinges, or those pins, from the 2026 Wrangler, and he wanted to retrofit them onto his 2023 Gladiator. Now, we're gonna reach out to him, get all the part numbers that he ordered, because I wanna say he has all of them in, but I know it took quite some time for him from delivery, or from order actually to delivery. One thing that you're going to have to understand when you're swapping these over is that you do have to remove the doors, and not only that, you also have to remove the door panels. Unfortunately, those door check straps actually get bolted in through the front of the door. So basically the studs come through the front of the door and then have 2 nuts that get bolted on, and then here's your check and then the quick release on the end. So Randy pulled his door panels off, which looks intimidating. It's not that bad. It's a few bolts and you can actually get them off. We've done it a lot here on the channel. However, it does look like it is compatible with the 2023. So we have confirmed on that. I'm not sure about all the other year fitment, but I know that these products are now shipping. So what I think is we've got to do is get a set of them here on Dirt Road Cred, and we will show you the backwards compatibility and all the tips and tricks to do so. We love doing that style content because it's utilizing the new upgrades that Jeep is giving the factory vehicles and putting it onto your current model. So we travel all over the country, you know, for shows, for events. We're constantly taking our doors off. I think this will make it very convenient for us. Instead of having to locate the Torx tool, is just be able to quick release those and pull the doors off. So we'll get a set ordered in here. We'll find the part numbers and we'll try them out. But I just want to let you know that there are people out in the wild that are getting them and trying them out. So thank you, Randy, for sending us all this footage and letting us see what you did. And before we hop into the reveal of today's video, we want to give a thanks to CLAYTON Off-Road for being today's video sponsor. You guys know that we're constantly adding on CLAYTON Off-Road lift kits onto all of our Wranglers and Gladiators, and not only do they create awesome suspension systems, but they now have just released their full skid plate systems for the JK, JL, and Gladiator. If you guys have lifted your Jeeps, increased the tire size, and are off-roading a whole lot more, a set of skid plates is a great add-on that'll help protect all the belly of your Jeep vehicle. Now, CLAYTON Off-Road proudly builds these skid plates in Connecticut, and they are an absolutely amazing quality. We cannot wait to get a set here on the channel, install them, and show you how they work and how they fit and function. Thank you to CLAYTON Off-Road for sponsoring today's video and for being a longtime supporter of Dirt Road Cred. So guys, before the launch of duck number 3, we're actually sitting around in the shop kind of thinking about what was going to drop. Obviously, a lot of things in our head. We were talking about, you know, the 85th anniversary, what this thing could be, what other options could it be as well, because there was a lot of conjecture and things on the website that said the Legend or something finally returns. There was talking about something returning, and that initially changed up our thoughts, because if it was something to return, it might have already been there. And then we started thinking about, you know, maybe this is the far out edition, maybe it's the diesel. Maybe they're doing a diesel trim back for 2026 because a ton of people love the Eco Diesel. And not only that, they did it on the Wrangler and the Gladiator back in 2023. So the far out was the last call or last edition of the diesel Wrangler and Gladiators. It was a loaded up Rubicon that came with basically everything you could add to it. Steel bumpers, graphics package, leather, all sorts of works on there. And we thought, how cool would that be for 2026 with all the upgraded tech? And not only that, is that Earl Grey is said to return as well. And the far out concept that they initially brought to Easter Jeep Safari was in Earl Grey and had, you guessed it, plaid seats. So we were kind of thinking that that could have been it. There was also a really interesting article here recently on a website or a magazine called Diesel World, where they were actually given the keys and allowed to review the far out concept a few weeks ago. So kind of odd to have them reviewing a concept vehicle that's multiple years old and is not really popular at the moment, to have them do a review here within the last few weeks. Everything was kind of adding up that this could be it, and I thought that would have been an absolutely fantastic way to bring in the year 2026, bring an engine back that people absolutely loved, and have a really cool trim come out. But none of that is what actually happened. Let's talk about drop number 3, the 85th anniversary. So obviously, guys, somebody didn't show up on Monday. Everyone has the case of the Mondays, and I think this time it was in the web development on the back end, because there was a multiple 5 to 10 minute delay between the Gladiator page, the Wrangler page, and ultimately the entire drop zone, the video reveal, all of it. Everything was kind of glitched up, and it was a bit odd for us because we were sitting here waiting. We're always waiting for these reveals to drop, because as soon as we see the information, we do report on them. So the 85th anniversary is what was released today. It's available on the Wrangler and the Gladiator, and let's talk about what comes with the trim before we absolutely rip it apart. No, just kidding, guys, but we are going to get pretty rough into it. The 85th anniversary is... it's something said like this is a moment that isn't easily forgotten or something. Like the code words are now so encrypted and that hard to try and guess. We're never going to be able to guess another one. But the 85th anniversary, from what I can tell, is based upon or around a Sport S platform for both the Wrangler and the Gladiator. It was shown in a white finish, and it did hold a couple color accent pieces. On the front, it looked like it had bronze tow hooks, as well as on the side of the Wrangler, and now actually says Wrangler in text, with what looked like to be a bronze accent or a yellow accent and black text in the middle of there. They're also calling for a light blue agave or agave, however you say it, badging on the side. I know back in the day, the light blues and the agave, especially in AMC, were very popular, so I'm curious to see how they tie that into the side. Or hell, who knows, maybe they're just leftover 4xe badges that they decided to put on these things. On the back end, the tailgate actually holds a really cool homage to the 85 years and different grills throughout there, and there are other badges on the inside of the vehicle as well. And as far as equipment goes, what this does come with is the Alpine Premium Audio, the convenience group, which is front heated seats, remote start, and a couple other goodies, as well as the LED headlight and fog light group. So you do get some goodies added onto this when you click the package. And from what the website said, it is $710 MSRP. Very comparable, though, pricing to a Sport S. So just wanted to talk about that. It's hovering the $45,000, $46,000 range without destination. The coolest thing that was added to the 85th anniversary, though, was the plaid interior. The plaid seats are an absolute fan favorite. They're one of our personal favorites, and they actually incorporated it not only onto the seats, but it looks like they put some on the dash as well. Very cool move by Jeep, and a really cool way to actually give a specialty trim something more than just a decal package. So we're really excited about that. But that is in a nutshell what is all inclusive of the 85th anniversary. Mind you, it is in both the Wrangler and the Gladiator. So really interesting stuff there. Now let's talk about what our thoughts are on it, because that was just what comes in the vehicle. We're gonna give our opinion on what we take away from this 85th. So now let's break it down, because there's obviously so much that is confusing with this. We got an Instagram message from someone that said the preview video that was kind of coming out when the drop was just hanging there, those are like the cliffs of Moher, Ireland. So I was trying to think of anything that would relate to that. Jeep-wise, 85 years ago in 1941, completely drew a blank. Nothing even remotely close. The second thing is the actual hints from the duck. Obviously, a gold beak does not mean 392 anymore, and I would say that the blackout sections on the actual hint page, I don't even think you can guess any of those anymore. None of it was correlative. None of it made sense. And I just think that we gave a little bit too much credit on this whole duck guessing game, that maybe this means this, and maybe this means that. And that's a good way to do it, to keep them entertained. But I don't think any of it means anything, to be honest. I think they're just random AI-generated ducks off of one piece of that trim, and then they're just plopped up there with a coded message that, once again, you're not even going to be able to guess that. They're just adjectives. Like last month was the tallest and coldest mountain peaks. You're not going to be able to guess any adjectives in these things. But the real problem we have with this, and we're speaking our minds with this thing, Jeep has been around for 85 years, since the beginning of World War II. They've got a color called 41. We are now 85 years in, changed multiple names of ownership, and this is the way to commemorate 85 years, is to give us a white Sport S with plaid seats. I am heavily disappointed in that fact. I don't really think that this one was planned out too well. I think everyone has the month of December as just the month of Fridays, or it's let's circle back in the new year. Let's get back. Let's follow up next year. And I think this is one of those drops that I hate to say it was fall right in that trap. It seemed like the whole even drop on the website was botched, 5 to 10 minutes late. Things were popping up on the media page before they were on the website. It was all over the place. And not only that, is everything that we're seeing is AI. So I gotta say, I love the seats and I love that what they're starting to do with that, but giving this the name of 85th anniversary. After 85 years of progress, success, ownership changing hands, new models coming out, why not make it the best of the best, the cream of the crop? I know that Jeep loves selling expensive 392s and expensive Wranglers. I wouldn't even say making this the 85th anniversary 392 would have been it. Ryan, even like a high altitude or something really loaded up, really luxury and really premium to kind of prove what Jeep could do after 85 years. But a white Sport S in the cliffs of Ireland doesn't make sense. And I think that what they should have done, waited on the 85th anniversary, maybe dropped it a few months later, and just gave this another random duck if they didn't really put a ton of time into it. And we're obviously just speaking here out of our thoughts and opinions. We've been around Jeep for a long time. We buy so many Wranglers and Gladiators, and I feel like we have a pretty good gauge on our audience, and I would say a plaid seat for the 85th anniversary is not enough to do it. I think it should have been an 85th anniversary 392 in the Goldilocks color and really made it the pinnacle gold anniversary 85 years later. And you have so much you could have played on. You could have used the color 41. That's 85 years ago. It doesn't make sense to me. You guys really could have played around with this thing. And what we got today, if you are in the market for a Sport S, it's perfect if you like the plaid seats. We've been seeing Instagram comments. We've seen Facebook comments. People are loving the plaid seats. We agree with that. I think that should have been incorporated in the white cap edition and some of these other specialty editions. So they did that properly, but I just feel like this was a momentous occasion, and even them calling it a moment like this doesn't come around often. So maybe we make it more special than a medium grade trim with 17-inch wheels and agave accents on it. Not very impressed by this, and I gotta be honest, it kind of dilutes my excitement for the rest of the drops. I think they put a lot of their eggs in one basket with the Moab. That was a real vehicle. It was dropped, it came out, you could see it driving around. The white cap was AI, and now this is AI too. And I don't know, I mean, what's the next one gonna be in February? Another AI model that could just be generated, and because you're not going to be able to guess what they are, and all of them still say pre-production, so you don't even know exactly what is on the order guide. But overall, that's our feedback on the 85th anniversary and what we're curious about. We love the plaid seats. I think you guys are all going to agree that you really love the plaid seats as well. But give us your takeaways on this, and does this make you more or less excited for the rest of the drops? But we also are curious, though, are you guys in agreement with the price point? Because this thing looks to be about $46,000 plus destination. I know it's expensive. We know Jeeps are expensive. We just signed the note for this brand new one that we have behind us here. For what you're getting, are you happy with what this 85th anniversary is? At least it has upholstery in my eyes. So at least it gives you a little bit more, but I do think it is still an expensive trim. And I do think, I think it's just a way to get rid of some inventory and get rid of some things that are hanging around. But I remember them doing the 80th anniversary a few years ago, and it wasn't much to it. I think it was a leather cloth style mixed seat and a little bit of badging. So I would say maybe it is a little bit par for the course, the 85th, to not make it like a specialty edition. But in our eyes, I think anniversaries are something to be celebrated, and I think it shows how long it's been around, and I think it deserved a little bit more. Well guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Be sure to stick around. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, we are that close to 100,000 followers, and as soon as we hit that, we've got some really special plans that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. We've also got some really cool plans for this Jeep sitting behind me here, the 2026 Mojave. We've already started to order parts for this thing, and we really could use your guys' input. Let us know down below in the comments some things that you'd like to see on the 26 Mojave. Obviously, we've got a lot of opinions and a lot of comments on this when we first dropped it, so we continue to love that, and if you guys wouldn't mind, just keep dropping those comments down below. Now, hopefully we get something cooler for the next drop, but until then, we're gonna be wrenching on this and getting our spring and summer plans completely fleshed out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, Ryan's behind the camera, and I'm here talking to you, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.